Today shares in memory of Mrs. Glock Mato Bas Yisrael Shalom, whose yahrzeit is today, day after Yom Kippur. So, I'm going to do something quite controversial. Not controversial in terms of like, oh wow, the topic is crazy, but it's one of the most complicated figures in rabbinic literature. A personality, a persona of someone who's often quite misunderstood, quoted, and I think in order to really understand what's going on, you have to see a complete picture, which I'm going to try and paint. I'm going to attempt to paint this afternoon. Now, we're going to have to read a lot. There's going to be a lot of text, just because we need to get through certain amounts of narratives and stories to get that complete picture. Every so often, I will pause and I will interject. And then at the end, and every so often, I try to ask you guys, what do you think is really going on here? I want to preface everything with something which is very important. Rabbinic literature, Midrash, if understood in a literal way, often looks silly because it was never meant to be taken literally. It was meant to be taken very seriously. And you have to be able to have your antennas up when you read Midrash, because they never ever tell you the meaning behind it. They want the reader to figure it out, and they want you to work hard. They rarely spoon feed you, just like you had those good teachers who made you think yourself. It was frustrating, it was harder, but at the end of the day, it's infinitely more valuable, and you learn much more, and it penetrates your kishkas better. It's harder, but just for me to tell you messages and lessons, there's no learning involved. And remember, they were writing the Torah Shebaal Peh. The Midrash is part of the Torah Shebaal Peh, and therefore it needed to be studied and learned just like anything else. Okay? And when you just throw out a Midrash, it just looks silly. We're going to see the richness and the beauty of Midrash today. The main source is going to come from Ruth Rabat. I want to thank my sister for finding me a copy of Ruth Rabat in English at Rabat's Youth Library. Not so easy to get a hold of. At least so I thought, until someone told me that there's actually an art scroll version of it, which apparently is a good translation. Didn't even know. But what I want to do is I want to read with you the Hebrew. In this crowd, I'm just going to really read through the Hebrew, and I'll translate every so often. Okay? It's about Elisha ben Abuya. The Medrash is on the story of Ruth, where Ruth lies at the foot of Boaz, out in the threshing floor, not really of seduction, but almost the way of like, shall we say, offering herself to Boaz, but she wants it to be in a wholesome Yibum fashion. So, Boaz, not interested in, let's say, one night stand, looking for a type of a relationship. That's also clear from the Psukim, that's not for now. So the Midrash says the following in Ruth Rabbah: Lini halayla, halayla hazo atlana beloish, v'in atlana lalayla acher beloish. Meaning, tonight we'll be single, tomorrow we want to be wed. Vayaba boger, the morning will come. Yimi galech tov, if there's redemption, good. Yigal, redeem. Imlo yachbod tigaltech. If you don't want to redeem, says Ruth to Boaz, I'll find somebody else. You reject me, you'll do what's called chalitza, and I'll find somebody, right? But Boaz had an opportunity, we know, to wed, to finish the deal. All of a sudden, from here, the Medrash takes a left turn. You only realize why at the very end. Rabbi Meir Havayati Vidarish Bahade Midrasha B'Tiveria. Rabbi Meir had two Rebbes. One was Elisha ben Abuya, who becomes an apostate, who veers off the path, and the other is Rabbi Akiva. That'll be very important. So what time period is this? Post-temple period. Right? Vahavi Elisha Rabbi Gaziz B'Shuka, Rachiv al Susa B'Shabata. And while he's giving a shir on Shabbos, his Rebbe, Elisha, is riding a horse, which is forbidden to do on Shabbat. Amrullah Remeir, Elisha Rabbi Chati Gaziz B'Shuka Nafka Lagabe. Your rabbi is out in the marketplace riding a horse. Nafka Lagabe. Remeir closes his books He goes to meet his Rabbi out in the market, who's violating publicly Shabbat. Amar le, b'meh havita asik. Elisha turns to his disciple, Rav Meir, and says, what was Shir on? It's a very strange way to start a conversation, right? Like, it's like 3 o'clock Shabbat afternoon. Your student sees you riding a horse, and what do you say to him? So, what were you just giving Shir on? What's his response? Quotes in a pasuk at the end of Iyov. Hashem berach et acharit Iyov mireshito. God blesses the end of Iyov from the beginning. Amar le uma martbe. So how did you explain this pasuk? Elisha asks Rav Meir. So what do you say? What do you expound on this pasuk in front of the Beit Midrash? Amar le berech. God blessed him. Shehichpil lo mamono. That the end of his days, Iyov had twice as much money than he started with. What's the story with Iyov? Begins bankrupt, begins wealthy, wife, children. There's a challenge. God removes his wife, his children, his wealth. There's like 40 chapters of discussion with Iyov and his friends who try to talk to him and console him and to give him advice. Iyov rejects them, rejects everything they say, argues with them. At the end of the day, he refuses to completely abandon God. And he's blessed with wife, children, and wealth again. So, he had $1 million in the beginning of the story. In the middle, he had nothing. He's restored to $2 million. That's what I spoke about, Sir Meir. That at the end of the day, at the end of his days, God blessed him with a double portion. Amar le Akiva, Rabbi, Ribcha, you're Rabbi Akiva? Loya Omer Ken. That's not how he understood this pasuk. Allah Hashem berech et achrit Iyov mereshito. That God blessed him at the end, mereshito, because of the beginning. B'zchut tshuva u'masin tovim shayu biyado mereshito. Because in the beginning he started off holy and wholesome. He was given the blessing at the end. Meaning, by the end of the story, Iyov is not wholesome. Since he started off proper, that gave him a bonus, a free pass. He could do whatever he wants. So at the end, maybe he's not so great, doesn't matter. He has the beginning, he was great. That's what gave him his blessing. Amar le umat amart. How would you explain this pasuk? Gohelet. Tov achrit davar mereshito. Good is the end better than the beginning. Meaning, how could you tell me, Elisha, the beginning is what matters? We have a pasuk in Gohelet which says the opposite of what you said. What would you say? Elisha asks Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir defends his position that the end is vital. And he brings 3 examples in source number 3, which I'm not going to read. About a person who at the end of his days repents, it's accepted. At the end of 3, Elisha says, well, that's all nice and dandy. But that's not how Rabbi Akiva understood it. Rabbi Akiva understood it. It's about the beginning. Now, what is the real battle here? Beginning, and this is not, with obscure conversation about Psukim and Kohelet and Iyov. No. What is this really about? It's all about how important is the beginning of one's life. What impact does that make on a person? Let's take a look at the story. Step 4. There was a story. Avi, this is Elisha talking. My father Avua, Elisha ben Avua, Hayam Migdoli Hador. My father was one of the top guys in Jerusalem. Uchshaba Maluni, the day of my Brit Milah, Kara l'chol Gdolei Yerushalayim, ve'Kara l'Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Yeshua Mahem. On the day of my bris, all the great leaders of Jerusalem were invited. And who were 2 of them? The Nasi, the Av Beis Din, Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua were with them. And it's the meal. All of a sudden, in the middle of the meal, Sharun, Ilin, Amrin, Mizmorin, Vilin, Amrin, alphabet. All of a sudden, in the middle of the meal of the bris, they start singing alphabet, meaning poems in Greek. They're dealing with their matters, meaning agree, you can use it. We should deal with our matters. And what do they begin to do? Yitchilu b'Torah. Umina Torah lenevim, umina nevim l'ktuvim. So imagine this, right? There's a banquet hall. You ever see those guys who pull out those mishnayos or chumash at a wedding? That's what they're doing. It's at a bris milah. They start, just two of them. They start learning. V'hayu hadvarim smeichim. And their learning was exciting and joyful. Kininata misina, just like it was from Sinai. And at Sinai it was given with joy. V'ha'esh milahatz with him. And fire now was circling above them. And after all, the essential part of the Torah was given with fire, as it says in Kos HaPasuk. Amar, next line. Ho'il v'cheinhu gadol kocha shel Torah. Avua says, wow, if this is the power of Torah, if my son actually lives, because remember in those days, just because the kid was 8 years old doesn't mean he's going to live. If my son lives, Hareini Notuno La Torah, I will dedicate my son to the Beit Midrash. And then now, if I were to pause right here, is his father doing a good thing or a bad thing? What would you say? A good thing. He's dedicating his Medrash says, because his kavanah wasn't totally pure. This is what Elisha is saying. Because my dad's intention and my brit milah was not pure, the Torah wasn't mitkayim. You hear there? Remember, the father said, if my son is mitkayim, I'll teach him Torah. Said Elisha, because the wrong reasons, the Torah wasn't mitkayim. Mitkayim has both spiritual component and a physical component. Living and surviving. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. What's very interesting is what inspires Avua to make his son go learn. The koach of Torah. What does it mean? What does that mean, koach of Torah? Very strange expression. The power of the power of Torah creates fire? Interesting way of looking at it. Power of Torah. And it would appear that what he's doing is a good thing. Says Elisha, no, it was so destructive. By the way, what's he arguing? Because my life started out bad, meaning my father dedicated my life to Torah for the wrong reasons, I was doomed to fail, and the Torah therefore wasn't sustainable in me, and I became an apostate. Meaning the beginning, go back to what we started with, decides. By Eov, the beginning was good, therefore it saves him at the end. For me, the beginning was bad. I'm done for. So, there are many people who argue that what is the message? This is an anti-Greek, anti-pagan text. Why? Because pagans were about fatalism. Judaism is about, no, you can change your ways, you make a difference, no, it's just it's destiny, we don't agree. And therefore, Elisha is saying, my life started off bad, I'm doomed to failure, I'm destined to be a heretic. And Rabbi Meir is saying, what do you mean? Not true. You can change, the end is important. It doesn't matter you started off, you can change your ways. For many people who want to focus on that, I think there's no question there's a theme. But you're missing the picture. Let's continue reading. But let's skip a little bit. Go to 6. Amalei. He said to him, meaning, Elisha said to Rabbi Meir, Chazor lacha. Go back. Amalei lama. Why should I go back for? Remember? 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Shabbos. Amarle ad kan tchum Shabbos. Tchum Shabbos says you're not allowed to go more than 2,000 amos outside of the city. So they were walking, and I guess they're walking to the city. So Elisha, Rabbi Meir, you gotta go back. Meaning, I don't care, I'll continue walking my horse. You care about Hilchot Shabbat, you gotta go back. How'd you know? I know by my horse's steps. Again, every step is whatever, that calculated. Amar lei, v'chol hada chokhmata, You have all this wisdom, itbach, with you. V'leit at chazar b'cha. Why don't you come back? Now, what's the message? Not just physically come back to Tiberia, but what's he saying? You do tshuva. Meaning, you're quoting obscure midrashim. You know the teachings of Rabbi Akiva. You're able to figure out 2,000 amot from the way the horse walks. Wow, you're so incredible. You gotta come back. Amar le, late b'chile. Says Elisha, I don't have the strength. I don't have the strength. Bechil is from the word chayil, strength. I don't have the strength to do it. Question. Strength. Where did we see strength before? Very good. In kachi kocha shel Torah. This is the power of Torah, said his father. Oh, my son. Okay. Interesting. Power. Let's go on. Amar le. Lama says, how come you don't have the strength to go back? He asks, Rav Meir asks his Rabbi. Amar le. Let me tell you a story. Rochev hayiti alasus. Once again, I'm riding a horse. And I'm behind a shul. Right? Like last year. Shabbos Yom Kippur. And I heard the sound of a bat kol, heavenly voice, chirping, echoing. Shuvu banim shuvim. Return, my wayward children. Shuvu elai v'ashuv alechem. Return to me. I would do. Chutz me'Elisha ben Abuya. Shaya yodea kochi u'marabbi. Gotta stop here. What's going on? Again, Shabbos, Yom Kippur. He hears a voice. So double whammy. Show him. Everyone should do tshuva, except for Elisha ben Abuya. What do you mean? Everyone going to tshuva except for, I don't know. What? He's like the greatest villain in the world, Elisha ben Abuya. Stalin and Hitler. Like, if you want to tell me he's on the street corner handing out, pig to every Jewish kid that goes by and telling them that the rabbis are. We don't see any indication that he has an interest on bringing many people to the dark side. We don't see that. He's riding a horse. Okay, it's public, it's not good, but like, everyone's going to do tshuva but him? He's such a villain? Second, if you were on the text of Heavenly Voice Committee and you want to have this message, the message would be beautiful. Shuvu banim shovavim, return, except for Elisha ben Abuya, because why? What would be the reason you'd give? Because Elisha... What? That's what it says. What would you say? Would you use the same? What would you say? You'd say like, he knows so much Torah and he still rebels. What is Yada Kochi? Yada Kochi knows my strength. You should say Yada Torati or Toratai. Or Talmudo b'Yado v'Marabbi. He's a Talmud Chacham, he still rebel. What's this? Yada Kochi knows my strength. I mean God's strength. Here's my question. Okay, I'll ask it now. Bat kol. What do bat kols play out? Oh, one more thing, sorry. If he's so bad, how would he merit to hear a bat kol? Heavenly voice, they don't talk to anybody. But he's zoichet to hear a bat kol? And he's so bad and he can never do tshuva? Here's their question. I'll give you a hint. Do you know of another bat kol that takes place somewhere in the Gemara? Famous bat kol? And what's the role of that bat kol? Ever know a famous bat kol case? Ever heard of the story of Tanur Shalchanai?
When the bat kol says it's
Yes, very good. Okay. There's a famous debate over an oven, if it's a good oven or a bad oven. Why does it matter? Because if it's a good oven, it's mekabel tuma. If it's a bad oven, things inside are not mekabel tuma. There's a debate that goes on in the Greenberg where the rabbis say it's a good oven, and one guy, Rabbi Yeshua, says bad oven, and he says to show you that I'm right, the water will flow in another direction, the tree will this, the walls, and everything he says is right. If I'm right, he says, a voice will come up, and the heaven says, listen to Rabbi Yeshua, he's right. The rabbis say, we don't listen to a bat kol. We don't listen to the voices. Why? The Torah is not in Shemayim. It's with the people. And to that, Yischuni Banai, my children defeated me. A lot to talk about that. I don't want to deal with it now. But the purpose is, the message is, do we establish things based on bat kols? No. We challenge bat kols. Maybe the message is, Elisha ben Abuya hears a voice saying, Elisha, you can never do tshuva. What should Elisha ben Abuya, what did he conclude from that sentence? What did he conclude? No one can do tshuva but Elisha ben Abuya. What was his conclusion? Don't do tshuva, it's a waste of time. He's finished, he's doomed. Destined to go to hell. We don't listen to bat kols. What should have been his response? Dafka, God, I'm going to show you it's not true. Why? Because that is kocha shel Torah. The koach of the Torah is, it's not about what God says, what heavenly voices say. It's about what people do. We don't listen. Who should have known better? Elisha knows we don't listen to bat kol. But he gave in. He should have known the kocha shel Torah. And he failed to recognize the power of Torah is that we challenge, status quo. Someone says to you, it can't be done, you say, yes it can, I'll prove it to you. What did he do instead? Give up. That's why the message is about Yada kochi umarad. Not Yada Torati. It's not about the Torah, it's about the koach that's more important. And his father saw, this is the koach of Torah. We're not done. Let's continue. And what was the incident that kind of got him messed up? This is quite famous. One day, Elisha was studying and learning Torah in the valley of Genusar, which I guess is in northern Israel, I'm not quite sure. He saw a man that ascended to the top of a palm tree, and he took the child in front of the mother, and descended properly. Meaning, what should he have done? He should have shooed away the mother bird, but he didn't. He just took the egg, threw away the mother bird. Motzei Shabbos, on Saturday night, this one is standing on top of the tree. Natal habanim, this person took the egg and shot away another bird. V'yarad v'yikishu nachash hamet. On his way down, bit by a snake and he died. Amar said Elisha ben Abuya. K'tiv, it says, Shalayach tishalach et ha'eim v'etabanim tikach lach. Send away the mother bird and take its children. Leman yitavlach. It'll be good for you and have longevity. There's other versions of the Medrash which says that his father asked him to do it. Meaning, the other place in the Torah that you get Arichut Yamim, right? Hechan Tovo shows that where's the good? Hechan Arichut Yamim, where's the longevity? Meaning, what? Because Elisha saw this incident, it caused him to rebel. Remember what this pasuk is going on. Im yigalech tov, lo yigalech da 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 da. Again, laman yitavlach. It says talking about goodness. Velo yada shedarsha Rabbi Akiva b'tzibura, and he was not aware that Rabbi Akiva gave a public lecture. Laman yitavlach b'yom shekul tov, arichut yamim l'olam shekul arach. Said Rabbi Akiva in a public lecture, do you know what the Rachta Yamin means? It doesn't mean you're going to live long in this world, but rather, oh no. Stop. What is very strange with this conclusion? What was Elisha's mistake? He missed the shear. Meaning, can't be. I'll tell you why. Elisha's quoted 3 times Rabbi Akiva's explanation of verses from Kohelet and Eov. Somewhat obscure. And you didn't know. A public lecture? Sent out over email? Easily downloadable? It wasn't a private conversation. It was a public share. On Psukim and Devarim, which are quite famous. So when the Midrash says he didn't know, doesn't mean he didn't know. What does it really mean? It shows not to know. Why? Because remember, for Elisha wants to argue. Elisha's a thesis. He doesn't want to hear anything that disproves his thesis. His thesis is you can't change. Right? And remember, Tov, Achrit, Mireshito. So if a person is going to shoo away a mother bird, a person does an action, they should get benefit. That's the way the world works, says Rabbi Akiva. When we talk about what is true goodness, it's not so simple what true goodness is. Don't think it's just about this world, the here and now. That because you did something good, you deserve it to get something else. That's not true. Not the way the world works. Okay. Let's go to the page, please. Turn the page over. Number 8. We're just going to read a little bit more, then we'll stop. He got sick. Atun va'amrin Meir. Elisha got sick. Words got to Rav Meir. Rav Meir, your Rabbi Elisha is sick, meaning deathbed. Azal Gaba, he goes, Amarle, Chazor Bacha. Do tshuva. Amarle, Ve'ad Kidon Mekablim. Hey, how you doing? And you mean to tell me it's going to be accepted? Amarle, Veloktiv, Kashov Enosh Adaka. Ad de Kiducha Shanafesh. You're only allowed to do tshuva when your soul is strong. When your soul is weak, you can't do tshuva. Meaning, if you do tshuva, you have to have koach, strength. I don't have koach. I'm on my deathbed. I'm sick. Otosha bacha Elisha. Yeah. Otosha bacha Elisha ben Avua. Elisha ben Avua cried and he died. Rav Meir samach. Rav Meir was happy. Why? Vamar. Because of his tshuva that he did the last second, that's why he died. I don't know where I heard this or saw this, but I might have seen this, I don't remember. Elisha almost curled up in the fetal position at this moment. It's almost as if he's going back to when he was born. I hate to use this expression. He's almost like being reborn again. Right? When you're about to die, you're like a baby in many ways. You're going back to pre-existence. You're going back to pre-birth. Let's read on. Kevan shekavru bata haor v'saraf et kivru. They buried him, and all of a sudden fire came. Remember this fire from Sinai fire to incinerate the grave. Atun v'armilei Rav Meir kever ribcha nisraf. They went to the Rav Meir. Rav Meir, the grave of your Rebbe is burning. Yatso parash talito ala. He took his talis. Talis doesn't mean prayer talis. Talis means clothing. And now, this is what's a little complicated, because this is now intertwining what's going on with Boot and Roaz. Roaz and Ruth and Boaz. It's intertwining what Boaz and Ruth do with what Rav Meir does to Elisha. Meaning, he redeems him and he paras kinafecha. We know that by Boaz puts his cloak over Ruth as a sign of ready to marry her, protects her. If Meir does anything for his Rebbe, protects him. Puts his cloak over the fire, not because it catches fire, but I guess snuffs out the fire. And it quotes the Psukim. Yimigalech Tov. If this is about Tov. Okay. Well, let's stop here. Let's stop here because we need to focus on something else. What do we see from here? We see from here Rabbi Meir's tremendous commitment to his teacher, despite the fact that his teacher was a very poor role model. Why? Because clearly his teacher inspired him at the beginning of his life. You can't just discard somebody. You have to give them a sense of thanks and gratitude for what they did to you, even if later on they become wayward. 2, Rabbi Meir is trying to teach us a very important lesson, and that is, it's against fatalism, for sure. Just because your life started out bad, just because you were born here, you didn't have a good background education, it doesn't mean you're destined to be ignoramus, or you're destined to be a heretic, or you're destined to be whatever the case may be. You can always change it. Here's the last one. The koach of Torah has to be b'simcha. Meaning, when those 2 rabbis were learning at the bris, when his father looked at that and saw the fire, his conclusion was, wow, look at the power of Torah. He missed the whole thing. Not the power of Torah. It's that simcha of Torah. Torah is not about power. Torah is about simcha. If you think Torah is about power, you're going to become powerless. So again, there's no question, of course, a koach of Torah. But that can't be how you operate. That can't be your modus operandi. It's a facet. But that's not the leading. That's not the cause. Not the centrality of Torah is simcha. Kiyom shenitna Torah mesina. They were samechim. They were excited about their learning. And his father saw power. Wow, there's power. So it's lo lishma. It's not so ideal. I want my son to become powerful. But it's more than just that. If you emphasize the power, eventually you become powerless. If you become powerless, and it's all about power, then you have nothing. That was Elisha's mistake. He thought it was about power. He became powerless because he was so enraptured with his philosophical understanding of the way the world works. Became powerless to see the world in any other lens. Became powerless at the end of his days, thinking he can't do tshuva because he's powerless. It's not about power. It's about something. And I think those are the messages, especially when we stand here the day after Yom Kippur, when we want to understand how we can properly do tshuva, it needs to be about a sense of simcha, a sense of gratitude. Just because you start somewhere doesn't mean you can't change it. There's always ways to improve and get better. I want to show you a fascinating conclusion from a different Gemara in Gittin. Titus was a pretty bad guy. Shada gira lemizrach. Adanav takes a bow, he shoots it, falls in the east. The Marav shoots a bow, an arrow. Did I say shoots a bow? He shoots an arrow to the east, falls in Jerusalem. He shoots an arrow to the west, falls in Jerusalem. La'arba ruchad hashamayim, different directions, all of the arrows fall in Jerusalem. What's he about to do? Titus is going to, okay, I'm going to capture and destroy Jerusalem. That's the sign, right? Amr le'linuka. He sees a little Jewish boy walking on the street. It's very strange. A Roman general can talk to a little Jewish kid. Turns to this kid and say, Psuk li psukcha, teach me a pasuk. Meaning, what are you learning now? What's on your lips? He said, okay. Amar le v'natati nikmati be'edom. I will seek my vengeance on Edom, b'yad ami Yisrael, for what they did to my nation, the Jewish people. Amar, said this general, God wants me to destroy his home. Meaning, I see where the arrow goes, Jerusalem. Okay, you want me to fight Jerusalem? And then God will seek vengeance on that person. Arak, Va'azav, he ran, he left, and he converted. V'nafak mine, and who were his descendants? Rabbi Meir. What's the message of the Gemara? tshuva. Here's a person who gets... Now, again, this is the exact same thing. Miraculous signs are telling you to do something bad. And what do you say to those things? I'm not listening. Elisha also heard a sign and accepted it. Whereas this non-Jew, this Roman general, this, commandant, who's looking for a fight and for a battle and wants to do it willingly. And I don't know about you, but if I saw that I do 6 things that miraculously tell me to do so, of course I would do it. You don't. Because it's the wrong thing to do. Amazing. And Rav Meir's genes, Rav Meir's DNA is the antithetical of Elisha ben Abuya. And by the way, you also know the story of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva started out as a ignoramus. And what did he become? Rabbi Akiva, right? A great Tana. By the way, halacha is always like Rav Meir. Because Rav Meir learned from Rabbi Akiva, and halacha is according to Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva of Beit Dino. Rav Meir has another name. Rav Meir is also called Acherim Omrim. Acherim Omrim is in the name of others. Why? Because those are the things that Rav Meir learned from his Rebbe, Elisha. They didn't want to write down Elisha ben Abuya, so they said Acherim Omrim. Stam Mishnah, if there's a Mishnah that there's no name, Rav Meir. So we see that Rav Meir is part of the tradition of the Masorah. Why? Because he doesn't accept things as status quo. He doesn't focus on power. He doesn't focus on might. He doesn't focus on fatalism. And therefore, it's the powerful message, post Yom Kippur, that we can't just assume the way things are going to be. We have to take our initiative. We have to be able to challenge the way things are. And not just accept status quo, or accept things the way they were, and not to give up, and especially not look at Torah as something of power and of might, but of joy and simcha and bracha going forward. Okay, we'll stop there for today. Thank you.